Alright folks, now starting this little forest scene with a river and some rocks in it and the sun beating through. And all I'm going to do here is put on a mass of colour, darks and lights, and I'm not going to be too concerned with shapes at the minute. I have drawn shapes down here of where I want things to be, and that will show through the paint. So let's just get a good large-ish, brushish, as it were-ish. Right, let me see. I want something soft though. So I think the softest one I have is not the largest one I have. Okay. So let us begin with the larger shapes. Okay, so it's going to be warms and cools on both sides, actually. Warm on one side, a little bit cooler on the other side, and so on and so on. Right, okay, so let's get a bit of raw umber, some oxide red, and a little bit of cadmium red. A little bit of black, and some liquid, and probably a good bit more black here, because I want it dark down here, dark and warm on this side. Just heading out over to the edge here. As I head to the edge, it will lighten, and I will lighten it via just scraping it on rather than and just for the time being. I'll need a little bit more. There, you see, it lightens itself, as it were. And just get on all these edges all fixed. Okay, there's some blues in the distance as well. Let me see, just taking a little second here. Let's head over to the other side and we'll put on a cooler green over here. So let's get some phthalo green and a good cool cerulean there with some black. This will really darken it down. I am just taking some of that red just to knock the saturation out of it a little bit, because it's green. Now, some mineral spirits there, and nice and dark and greenish over here, and the same type of process. Just putting it on, and as you come to the edge, just letting it thin out naturally. A little bit more spirits there. Up in here, nice and dark. Now, there are other ways to achieve that. In fact, I'll do that now. I'll just show you. I'll just take a little bit of this off here, just wiping it off. And creates a lovely warm effect. There we go, nice texture in there, just to begin. I'll do a little bit more up at the top here. There we go. Okay, now we'll leave this little area till the last. Maybe, we'll see. But let's just work down here while I'm here. A nice warm landscape down here. And this should be nice and dry for me tomorrow to come along and then add the details. And I'm just scraping this on, folks. Nice and thin as well. And then coming over to the other side here, just warming it up along here. Warm greens, warm reds, which is nearly almost warm. And violets then to counter it. Contrast with heat. You can contrast with heat as well as with, it's important to remember that too, as well as with tones and colors. There are a number of ways to contrast things. Many numbers of ways to do it. And these are where some rocks are going to be. I'm just putting in the general color of it, like a not quite a mid-tone, maybe a bit darker than a mid-tone, semi-mid-tone as it were. Okay. Now, same over here, folks. I added a bit too much blue to that, or a bit too much white to that. So let's get that violet-y color back. A little bit of spirits here and there. You can see now, the idea is just to fill this with color, and then at a later date you come in and you add the detail. You wipe it out, you take it, you do what you need to do. That's the idea, and let's see if we can get it to work that way. Eh? Hey, da 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 da. Alright, let's just have a moment. I am going to, yes, I'll just work down in here. I've got a nice warm-ish riverbed here. Bum-ba-da-bum-bum-bum. I just want a nice warm reflection in here. I've changed my brush a little bit. I have changed my brush. I'm not sure you can change your brush a little bit. Nice and dark here, folks. Bring in some of that violet that I had there. That will help with the water. So a little bit warmer. Ooh, but you don't want it too warm. Take some of that red and knock that back a little bit. Now, green is a great way to knock the bejesus out of colors, out of violet. Some greens in here, and some yellows, and lots of different colors that are going on in here. So some spirits just to get this moving a wee bit, and some liquid. It's a bit stiff on the thing at the minute. And I want that a fair bit brighter than what I'm putting down here. Okay. Right, so a bit of a warmer color on the top here. And yeah, a bit of a warmer color. Nice and orange here for these rocks just up in here. Now, let me see. Okay. Bit of a almost pure yellowish color, but I'm mixing it with the red that I have. Just here. Help a little bit with the reflections. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to work on this back tree. A bit of a valley, bright bluish, more blue. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. I've just wasted that pile. Anyway. So a bit of a valley blue grey here. And I do want it blue, I want it showing up blue. But how blue? Is that too what, folks? What is that too of? I think okay for now. Yep. I'm just staying away from this work over here, just for the time being. I'll mix it shortly enough, so in fact I'm going to be going into it for twit in here now, just in here. Let that mix same in here. Let not be the backdrop of this here. Now, I'll be coming up into here with distant pine trees. And I just want a little bit of land here just to separate, like this is off in the distance here. Okay, so yeah, okay, so far so good. Now let me see, let me just take a moment. I think I am going to put a similar blue. Now this one today is a proper amalgamation. I sat for I don't know how long yesterday and today just looking at oh, it's a bit too dark. Just sat looking at all different landscapes here and there on Paxels and whatnot, and a whole lot of different types of landscapes and forests and scenery and sun, and then it comes to you, or at least it does to me. That's my process. God, sounds pretentious, but that's the way I do it. I do it in such a way that I can just sit in the house and just look at photos all day long, and then I will take them sometimes, not always, but sometimes I'll take them into Photoshop and manipulate them. What I have done here, and then I end up with either a reference photo or an idea. Now what I've done here is I've just talking too much, and I have covered this up too much, so I'll just wipe it back a bit. I want this to be a bright area up in here. Alrighty. Let's get ourselves a good bit of white, a little bit of liquid, and then just place this in. All right, happy enough with that. Right, so some darker areas now. I'm just going to start putting those in. So a dark violet for the rocks here. Just over here, I'll darken this while it's there. So keep it nice and warm and cool in some areas too, actually, you know. There's going to be some cooler ones here and there. So let me see, there's a rock up there, and I just place that in for it. No, that's not dark enough. No, it's not dark enough. Okay, and another rock will be about here-ish and here-ish. And another one here. I may as well edge around this here. So let me see, just here, here. All I'm doing is just creating the shadows. And then I'll come along at a later date and put the highlights in. There's a big rock sitting right here, just right across there. Another one behind it, and here and up there. A few more up in here. And then of course lots of little ones. Lots and lots of little ones here and there. This is a way to do it. Not the way, but a way to do it. Just going to darken this one up in here a little bit. But I have a feeling that you can see that. You can see what's going on there. And all I'm going to do here is just take this water up into here as if it's heading off in this direction. That's all. Right, let me see. Okay, right. So let's put in some very, very warm tree trunks, and cool ones too. Keep that in mind. Lots of liquid and lots of... Now, is this dark enough? It's actually a bit bright. Yeah, but these are just the idea of the tree trunks. These are not the tree trunks. And a nice big one coming up along here. Has a bit of a lean to it. And the same here. Now over on the other side, a bit cooler. And just one here. Oops, something was on my brush, but no, it's not. And another one here, nice thick one there. Thin out towards the top. And over here. Now, tomorrow whenever I come along and redo this, most of this is going to get wiped out. A lot of it's going to get wiped out, not most of it. A lot of it will get wiped out. And I'm just going to blend in this background here. And create a nice soft edge here for the time being. Right, and the same up in here. Just letting that all fade into itself. Not being afraid of the colors mixing. It's too early. to be concerned with those things. I'm just going to go over this with a fan brush very lightly and just blend all this, soften all this up. Some of it's already really tacky due to the mineral spirits, the white spirits, and the liquid. It's quite tacky. A lot of it is, it's almost ready to actually paint over. I could easily do it. Just keep a thinner mix, fat over lean type of thing. Yep, if I wanted to do alla prima today, that is what I would do. But as a background, as a softer way to see this, I got them just, yeah, that's nice. That's a decent start. I think I might darken these areas here while I'm here and prepare them for tomorrow. So a nice, what did I work on there? Right, so a cool darkness over here. Just bringing that out. See what I mean about wiping out the work? But you're not really, this is the painting process. I'm not really wiping it out. This is what happens. This is just see the beginning of this tree here? And then the edges will all be lovely and warmed. So it'll be a cool center of it and a warm highlight. So nice and cool. Keeping it cerulean-y. Alright, now that's that's that one for, I'm going to change brush a little bit. Oh, it's far too rough. I need a smooth one. Let me see. Something smells like. Right. So, just going to put in some of the, while I'm here, folks, I might as well add some of the finishing, not the finishing colors, the next stage colors, you know, in here, just trying to keep the shapes of, no. I think I put on a little too much. Mineral spirits. I'll say that again. A little too much mineral spirits. And that's okay. That's fine. Okay. Working away. Now, let's get onto this other side. A dark warm over here. Right over on this side here. So lots of oxide red. Cadmium red, some ultramarine blue, because it is, after all, it is a warm blue-ish. Comparatively, relatively, it's warm. So let me see. Okay, back over to here, keeping it really, really warm. Now, a good bit of white spirits, some liquid. Let's just get this painted in here. I'm doing the same as I did on that side. Putting in the dark, and it'll come along and I'll add a little bit of orange as a lighter aspect of it. Okay, keeping it dark here. I'm going to wipe a touch off here, just a little bit, just to bring it out a bit. Give you the sense that there's a bit of a gradient going on there. No, let me see. Give me some orange here. Get this in here. Yeah, it's become quite green because of the brush. So I will wash this brush. I'll wash this brush. Now, I will orange this up a little bit, which is what I should have done just there now. But I just forget that it didn't happen. A bit more yellow in it. That's nice, that's good. I'm coming into here, and of course, I will be what, folks? What will I will be doing? I will be blending all this in. I want to come down here into a greenish, distancy green here. And there is somebody at the door. I will be in a moment. Okay, folks, right. I'm going to work in this area here, round about here, just for the time being, just laying in the foundations of the rocks and the grasses around them. So let's get out the relevant brushes, a few flats, and I'll be wanting some palette knives as well. Just using a small palette knife here, just to scrape on the edges and whatnot. So I'm going to lay down some of the rocks here, just to get some of them in. Give me an idea of shape, and then I can mess around with its surroundings. So I'll use a brush to make up some color. I want a nice big rock sitting right here. Oh. Right, so let me see. Let me say a nice grey. Some red, some black, some blue, cerulean blue, and some white, just lifting it up a little bit. Now, let me see, I think it's a bit too saturated, but it's almost there, you know. I'll just add a little bit of raw umber just to draw the saturation back a bit. A wee bit darker. I can always come along and lighten it if needs be. Right, so I want the idea of a nice rock sitting around about here-ish. So. Okay. And give it a bit of a rock face here. Just keeping edges. And then another one beneath it. A slightly grayer one. I want a different tone on a lot of the bigger rocks. Different colors, different tones. Just as the way rocks are. They are not all the same. So I'll just take maybe a bit brighter, just to suit its surroundings. And of course, I'll come along and sharpen all the edges up. I'll do the same here. Yeah, I'll make us a hidden one, as it were, just here. You don't want to be, because rocks are so random. Rocks are just, obviously they're everywhere, and they develop in such a random way. You don't want it to look cultivated, you know. You don't want this to be looking as if you're just setting it down and making it less random than what it is. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but anyway, I'm sure you get the idea. You kind of have a bit of an idea what I mean. Try not to make it look painted in, as it were, for the want of a better way of putting it. A little bit brighter on this side. There's more light shining through here. Now, these are like kind of the main large rocks that I'm putting in. Get up into the top over here, and this is almost all but a hidden one up in here. I'm going to come along and put in some darker edges. I just use a little flat brush for this, just a wee cheap Da Vinci flat brush. Right, now it's not jet black. The shadows are not jet black. This is very important, actually. A lot of beginners want to think that the darks are darker than what they are. They're not. They're just shades and tones a little bit darker than them, and that's what gives us its shape. They're not jet black. You can always come along and lighten them as well. There is nothing to stop you if you do make that mistake. There is nothing to stop you. Okay, so let's put in a little bit of a brighter area here and there, and let's see, a little bit of blue on it, make it apparent, make it cool-ish. One nice blue along here. I'm just dragging this on, just leaving nice little broken areas. I'll do it from the other side as well, just here. It helps create that sharper edge too. Bit too bright. Just knock it back a little bit. And I will sharpen its edges via a palette knife. I like the effect that palette knives give. They can really create this wonderful sharp edge. So let me see, I'm just having a wee gander at what I'm doing. Taking a moment. And then this act of doing this will allow me to come along and put in all the little details of cracks and craggles and whatnot. A little bit brighter. And warmer, because the light is more on this side. Okay, just going to wipe a little bit off this brush and then put in a bit of a darker area around here. And because there's a bit more light hitting this side, the shadows are going to be a touch darker. And I kind of want a bit of heat in them as well, a little bit warmer. As you see what I'm doing here, I'm just messing around with the edge here, creating creating a random edge on it. That's not this one straight line. Just covering up some of that, the messed up canvas parts there. Right, okay. So let me just come up into this one now. Same again, just creating scraggledy and higgledy-piggledy lines. So there's no trying to create a randomness. Just letting that fade out down around here. Nice, get out a little bit of, there's, maybe get a little bit of a water reflection in here. And just get a shade in here. All right. Now let's work on some of the smaller rocks up in here, where there's a lot more color, a lot more variation up in here. Just let me say the alla prima. Yeah, It's the wet on wet alla prima method. And you just add a little bit of thinner here, and it thins it out, and it will sit on top of the heavier fat, as it were. Hopefully you can see the idea of some rocks up in here. Just right, okay. That's just off in the distance. We'll mess around with it a wee bit later. Now let me just, while I have this here, I'm just going to mess about with the corner of this one here. Yeah, it'll just remind me at a wee bit of a later date to put that in. Okay. 999. And the same, actually, just while I'm here, just as all. And just adding some fake highlights to this, and the reason I say fake is that all this is just a wee reminder to me to highlight these, which of course I'm not going to forget, but sometimes, you know, you get caught up in the moment. Right, wiping the brush off. Now let me just take a moment here. I want to put in a lot of smaller rocks here and there, or at least the impression of these things. But I'm going to use my palette knife here just to create some sharper edges. I'm going to do it with the darker side of things at first here. And a bit of a lighter touch here. And these palette knives really do create such beautifully sharp edges. Maybe a bit too bright, but it's okay. I'll mess around with it here. Right. And it will equally create that marbled effect sometimes that you get on rocks. Now, let me just continue here. And just trying to be sharp and random. You see that now? The edges that it's creating. And all the way that it leaves the scraggledy bits behind. Okay, so let's just continue here. Continue getting this in. And that's a bit dark. Well, just lighten it a little bit. Oops, a little bit more on it. All right. I would say so far so good. I just want to sharpen this little bit up here. Just here. There we go. Okay. Now. Just having a wee think, folks. Just having a wee think. A little bit warmer. This is my favorite part of doing rocks. Just creating all these random scraggly bits here and there. See the difference that makes? I'll just do that again, just in there. Look at the stepping that can create. It's quite lovely. Quite a nice effect. I'll do a little bit up in here. Just there now. Now we're getting ourselves a bit of a rock base here. Now I'm just going to use a flat brush here to create some of the smaller rocks. And they're going to have a bit of heat in them as well. They're going to be a little bit velvety grey. Okay. One here, one here. Just messing around. One here. Just create that shape a little bit. Create that here, 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 here. Here and here. A little bit darker, a little bit changing color, changing tone. And here and here, here, here. Okay, let's move over to the other side here and then here. A bit warmer on this side again. So here's two different lights. Well, not two different light sources. The light is being more blocked over here and it's being allowed to seep through here. So this is warmer and this is a bit colder. And things on this side are a touch warmer, which means that the shading over here, the shades will be cooler and whatnot. A little bit more here, a little bit more there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue working on the grasses over on this side. Here, just make this a little bit more of an orangey grass. It's going to be a kind of a thinned out glaze here. Just to highlight these areas over here. And then as we move further on and get a bit of a deeper orange. A little bit of grey to it as well. Okay. Now I want to orange this one up a little bit with a good thin glaze on it. Just taking a lot off the brush. And just quite tiny. And then wipe it off a touch. Okay. 9. Same again. Nice thin glaze here. Just to create the grasses in between these rocks. In there. Okay. No, I'm not happy with the rocks up here, and I will fix them forthwith. In fact, I will fix them right now. I'm not wiping them. Well, no, you know what? I'm going to wipe them out. Yeah, I'm going to wipe them out a little bit here, and I will redo them somewhat. I'm just putting this in here. And then, when the time comes, I will highlight it. That'll do. Right, okay. Now I want to start adding a little bit of highlights to these rocks here. And I don't think this is bright enough, but we'll see. Let's see. Almost, you know. A nice warm light here. Okay. Right, so far, folks. So far, we're just still messing around here. I'm going to create a nice darkened area here for a wee bit more rock. So a warmish area in there. Let me see now. Just along here. About a little bit of liquid to it. Okay. Now I'll be able to stick in a good load of rocks in there. Now a little bit on the other side. Not too much though, just a bit here. Just to create some smaller rocks. Okay. Here I come to say the day. Now, let me just have a little look. A nice pointed rock here. go, what do you do? There's a fire. Right, I'm leaving this for the time beyond. Right, let's just mess around here with this now. Okay. Now, just to break this up, I'm bringing some of the water into here. Okay. Now, right, so let me take a little step back to see what I'm doing. Right, I want a bit of a warmer patch in along here, almost a bright red. Okay. Now what this is doing here is I'm just going to soften the edges of this, because this is reflections. These are reflections too. Okay. Now look at that. Just shows you how the mind works. Look at that straight line there. And we're in a forest where nature is everywhere, so I'm going to have to come into it a little bit or go back a little bit. I think I'll just come into it a little bit. Just shows you, doesn't it? Sometimes the mind will just order things when you don't want it to be ordered. I do find that funny, actually. You know, that you can put things in order when you don't intend to. But it's good that you notice it. It's good that you see it. So if you do it, don't beat yourself up over it. It's a good thing to see. These are just the rock reflections, just a little bit. Right, so this one up here, this rock up here is getting away from me. So I'm just going to create a better shade in here. Oh, something right on the edge of my knife. Okay. for now. And let me just do something here. And right here, just add in another rock in there and just help to break that up a bit. All right, okay. So far, so far. Now, what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to work in this area here, in between some of the rocks here. So a nice warm, muddy color. And that's brown, raw umber, and cadmium red. So nice and warm. And then of course lots of different shades of it and what have you. And purples. As you're moving further away, it gets slightly darker and more saturated as well. Now, let me just have a wee look-see and see where we are. So some darker areas, as you're going to have that in spades. Oh, too dark maybe. And let's get out the fan brush. Let's just fill in the areas here. Sometimes I can be a bit too cavalier about filling in the edges. I forget about them. Where's my fan brush? And then all of a sudden, whenever you're framing it, you realize you've got a big. Anyway, this is fine. Now, okay, right. So let's now. I just am going to have a wee look at having another go at this this up here, up in here. So let's put on some nice bright highlights here. As you can see, this is sitting directly in front of the light, so it's going to have some nice bright areas. But there's also, again, the thing of overdoing it. A little bit of spirits there just to help thin it out a little bit. Let me just see. I'll warm that up. I'm still not happy with it at the time being. I'll warm it up a little bit later. So okay. I'm just taking a moment to have a look at this. And I will sharpen it soon enough. Right, okay. I'm going to mess it up if I'm not careful. So I'm just going to be a wee bit more cautious of it. Right, okay. So now I'm going to take a little walk back and see what we have done for today. And I think maybe go for a little coffee. Actually, I'm a bit thirsty. Well, let's go and see here what damage has been done today. Okay, so far that's not so bad now. So far so good. Okay, creating some nice areas there. Right, I'll go for a little cost. It wasn't finding its place, so it wasn't so. I had to remove something there to get it. Now, let's get down here, nice and sharp. Okay, now, right. This is where a steady hand comes in. Just going to use this knife here to edge the tree a little bit. Now, this is what I say, this is where a steady hand comes in. It's not what I have at times. Alright, but anyway, that's okay. It's okay, it just needs work done a little bit. Let me see, take a little bit off this. There we go, that's a bit better. Nice and bright, eh? Boom, good highlight on that. Right, okay. Just having a wee look at these background rocks, and all I'm going to do is just create a too bright. Just create a little bit of highlights on them here, there. All right, okay. No. I'm just going to work in putting, these are already in, so I'm just going to put in the branches of them. I somewhat have the tone that I want here. A little bit of spirits there. That's what I'm going to call them from now on, spirits. As I jump in between mineral spirits and white spirits. So from now on, they're just spirits. That's a bit too bright. Let's knock this back a bit, use some of that green. Okay, just a little bit more. Help it move off the brush. Nice and raggedy. Flicking the brush, not being afraid to move the brush. Okay. No. I'll put a few lights in this thing here because I still want to work on this tree. I want to bring some of that light further into the tree, but I'm going to mess around with the skylights here. Right, now I need to concentrate on getting myself a nice tone here. Okay, so let me see. Is that too bright? Is it too bright? It's okay for one or two of them. I wouldn't, I'm not going to go too far on it. Okay, now let's just darken it down a bit and grey it down a bit too. Just a bit now, folks, just a touch. Creating lots of little light holes. And don't overdo this too. It's so easy to overdo these things. All of a sudden you've got a Swiss cheese looking at you. Let me move back and have a wee look. So far, okay. Right, okay. Let me just get some brighter sky into it here and there. Just some up here. Almost white in certain areas. Okay, now I'm just going to take a moment before I do something drastic. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to work on this tree. I'm going to bring in some of that orange. Now, I'm going to wash a brush to do this as well. Okay, so let me make up a nice orange here. I'm going to thin it out with some liquid as well. So it's going to be a bit of an orange glaze, just sort of, it has a gradient of going in there. There's a nice orange, oh, too much yellow, too much. There we go. So now yellow, cadmium yellow and cadmium red are semi-transparent in and of themselves. So you don't need much liquid on this. And I'm actually going to take a little bit off the brush as well. So I'm going to be a bit cognizant of how much I'm coming in here and of the way. So a little bit more liquid, just to help it a little bit with the transparency. There, you see now coming in. Yep, that's good. That's the way that I want it for the time being. Now, as I say, just coming in a little bit here and there. I just want to spread that light into the tree a bit more. Okay, so let me see. Now let's highlight the edges of it. And let's get some yellow, and I'm already got a little bit on the brush, a little bit of white in it this time, just for a little bit more opaqueness. And let's highlight the edges here. You see? Highlights are much better when they're sparse. You don't need much on them. A little bit more transparency. I want it to look as if the light is shining through it. Okay, now a little bit more up here. And it's not going to be as noticeable because we're coming up into the light, but it's still going to be there. Let me see this. Now, do I need any more? I'm going to take a little walk back here, folks, and I need to take my glasses. So, let me see. Have I come in far enough? I think that's okay. Yep. For now, anyway. I'll mess around with it maybe a wee bit more later, but at least for now, I'm happy with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some of the skylights into this tree and then move on for the time being. Little bits here and there, little whiter, brighter bits here and there, and a little bit of sun in them. Okay, oh, I'll just round this brush off. A little bit in here, a little bit here. Okay, now is that too bright? I think it is. I think it is. I think it is. Okay, this will help knock it back a bit. No. Just take the brightness off it a little bit. There you go. That's a bit better. Now, I don't want too much of this, but I do want it there. Let me see. And another one here. And here. There we go. And I think that, as I say, for the time being, I will step back and let this be. Okay. I think I might darken this area a little bit, just tone it with a little bit of darker browny green here. There's some red, a little bit of blue, a little bit of yellow, and a little bit of black, and just a lot of liquid. A little bit of raw umber, a little bit more black. I want a bit darker than that. Let me see. I want to mess around. Now it's too, I want it thinned out. I want you to be able to see this area here a little bit. So I'm just scraping this on, bringing it up, And let me just wipe a good bit of it off there. Let me see. Yep, that darkens the base of that. And so far that's good. Now, I just want to re-establish this tree here. Just here. A little bit darker on one side of it. Now, put it in here and there. Now, a bit brighter up in here. Okay. Right, okay. Excuse me. Happy with that for the time being. Now, let me just zoom out a little bit here. Just take a walk back and let it zoom out a wee bit and see where we are. Okay, now obviously I still have this here to fix up, and I'm still unsure what to do with that area, whether to just fill it in, but I think I'm going to put in that little distant tree. And I'm having a look at the rocks at the front here. A lot of it needs sharpened up and refined. And then lots of little cricks and craggles in it here and there. So I think this area here needs to be dealt with. And I think I'm just going to put in the greens that are necessary for this area. So I'm going to wash off this brush. It's a nice wee brush to create those pine tree branches that come out. It's just that cheap little brush. So let me see now, let me see. We have a kind of a browny green here. A little bit more, putting some phthalo in it, folks, and some oxide red, and then I'll brighten it with what's down here, and we'll see. And is that a little bit more yellow in it? And that'll brighten it. A little bit of liquid. This might be too bright. Just messing around with the, I think what I'll do first is I will just create a darker, over here. I'll glaze in a darker area here. Warm over here. I'm just going to try not to cover these trees up too much, but they are going to get covered up to a degree. Okay, let me just take a moment to have a look here. All right, okay. All right, just maintaining all of that warmth at the top here. A little bit more yellow. A little bit more again. That's where the light is, up in here. I'm just being cautious about coming over here and it being too bright. So I'm just going to mess around. Now let's get back to this green here. Let it come in here. Okay, so I'm keeping this warm now. I want a nice orange there. Oh, that's looking fine for the time being. But I want this here a bit more orange, so let's make it such a thing. Let's scumble this on just. Glaze it on, sorry. Bit more red. I don't want it to be green. I don't. Now this is going on like this, and then it's getting wiped off. Alright, you see that now? Right, so let's just take a bit of it off. Not too much, just dragging it off a little bit. And it creates that lighter area at the bottom of the forest here. So let's put in our tree bases here. And it's just going to be a touch darker than what's down. That's all. So let me see, how dark is this? That's fine. Okay. Ba-ba-dee-dee. Ba-ba-da-doo. I just want to make sure that these are nice and dark in here so I can highlight those in a second. Let me see. And let's take a bit of that off again. Okay, so working down. All right, right now. No, actually, what I need to do here is this tree here is far too. This tree is far too dark for my purposes today. So let's brighten it up a little bit. That's good. Right, okay. So now let's lay in some highlights with a knife here, and I'm going to use what knife should I use? Let me just see. Yeah, see what the edge is like on this one. So a nice bright orangey highlight here. Put a yellow in it. And let me just see what we're like here. So let me bump, bump, bump. Is that the way I want to do that? No. Bump, bump, no. I want a different knife so I can just hold it a bit better. I think I'll use this old one here. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to use the ball stick as well. I'm going to do one and take a step back. And that's fine, that's okay. So let's start putting this in here. And all of this can be, remember folks, all of this can be redone. So I can, or knocked back a bit. And which I think I've gone a bit too bright on some of it here. And a bit too not colourful enough. There we go, that to me is a bit better. To my mind, that looks a bit better. Okay, This small stick is getting in the way. Right, okay, now I've overdone it. But that's alright, it's easy knocked back whenever it dries. It's not that big a deal. I'm just going to take a walk back because I think I've overdone it. Let me see. Yeah, actually, you know what? It's not that bad. I have overdone it, but it's okay. It's an easy fix. Quite an easy fix, actually. And in a way, I mean, to look at it on the positive side, in a way, whenever that's dried, I'll be able to put a lot of little flicks and clicks on it and make it more real looking. So I'm happy enough with that little accident, as they say. Okay, so I'm going to lighten up this area around here with a bit of an orange. Now, if I mess it up this time, I'm going home. Anyway, I just want to tackle this tree and then put in the details of the of all the little trees and branches and whatnot. So I'm just going to lay down an orange here on this tree. Just give me a wee second here till I get things set up. So, a nice deep red orange. Okay, now, I think that was my problem the last time. I wasn't paying attention to the orange, how deep red it was. I hope that was my... Anyway, right, so let's just get this on. I think the tiniest bit brighter than that. Yeah, okay, now. I think that's why I wasn't happy with it. It just wasn't warm enough. So it wasn't. I'm just being a bit more cautious now than what I have been previously. I just don't want to be it running away from me this time than I did the last time. Okay, now it's a bit better. A little bit brighter here and there. I'll just use some yellow to achieve that. Just a little bit here and a little bit there. And the color that I originally put down, or the color that's underneath this, will go towards creating a background on it. So, okay. Yeah. Whew. I think sometimes I just get caught up a little bit in what's happening. It seems anybody else. I'm not really having a go at myself, you know. I'm not. Now I'm modern, and I think that I'm almost done here actually. Now I'm going to take a walk back and have a wee look. See, and I'll take my glasses with me. Yes, that's a bit better. Okay, right, it's more natural to me. It's a more natural light. All right, now just a highlight to finish it off. That's all, just a bit of a highlight here and there. Okay, now that's a little bit more on this side. I'm going to wipe a little bit off this brush, just a little bit. Just create a little tiny bit on it, and then just draw it in here a little bit. Just painting that in, just to bring it around the corner a little bit, just thicken that just a touch more, you know. Now let me see, a little bit up here, just to... There we go. Now, okay, now let me just see. Okay, now what I want to do, right? I'm happy with the trees. I just want to put in a little bit more skylight in them. Sometimes you just need a break. You know, you just need to walk away and look at it and go, right, I need to do something different. So easy to get caught in it. All right, now, right. Now what I want to do is add lots of little twigs here and there and here. Right, so over on this side, warm ones, and over on this side, slightly cooler ones. Just want to just line things up. So warm twigs just coming off these trees. Well, it needs to be a bit brighter than that. Now, as I'm moving in, they will get darker, but for the time being, I'm just going to keep them bright in here just. And if you see the action of just moving, because although some branches can grow with a smooth twirl like so, and then come out like so, most of them have a little break in them. Straight lines. Most of them. Now, it's one of these ones where you just have to be cautious to not go too far. I just want to see this line here. I want to break this line up a little bit. I think it's just a bit too... There. All in the one spot, you know. And then a little bit there too. Yeah, a little bit more all over this actually. These are just the details. Another one there. One here. Spreading that darkness out a little bit. All right. That's nice. Now you get to see them pop a little bit better there too, I think. Now what I'm going to do is just going to, here's a wee trick now. I'm going to be cautious of this because this can be quite strong, so I can't. So I'm just going to scrape a little bit of the paint off, and that'll create some highlights there. You see the way that's doing that? Kind of almost scraping that off a little bit. Okay, now that also leaves a nice misty effect. Now what I want to do is I want to work a little bit on the water. Before I move into putting some twigs and things on the other side. Let me see. Just wasn't too happy about this bit of water here, so just same again, just taking my when you walk away you can have a look at it and take your time with it. Okay, now let's create a little bit of a brighter spot, but only just a bit. I don't want to go too far this time. Just a little bit of a brighter spot. Aha. All right, now I'll put on my little favorite parts, which is just some of these wee straight ripples here. It helps along the base of these rocks. And it also helps this in here to look like a bit of a calmer area of water. I think I maybe need to file this down. This is getting a bit hard to scrape things up. There we go. All right, just a wee bit more here and there, and I think I'm should be able to call this almost finished. When I say almost finished, all that means is I will let it hang for a day or two, and then give it a bit of a varnish and then have a look at it. But what I will do before I go any further, I will add a little bit more brightness here. Let me see. Just a bit more. See that now? That helps a bit, so it does. Here I'm low. Okay. I don't know how long this paint is. I think it's around the 4-ish hourish mark. So I think it's long enough. Yeah, that's a bit better. I think that pops a little bit more. Now let's just put in some branches and whatnot, some fallen branches here. Let me just check on what I'm doing. A little bit of umber, a little bit of cadmium red. Get that purpley, umbery color. I quite like it. And just create maybe a bit darker. Just leave some room for highlights. Another one, just going across the rocks here. It's the odd stick. You don't really want too much in there. Right, now let's just finish this off, I think, with just, I might have enough in here, but none coming off this tree. But as for the rest, I think I'll have enough in there, you know. So, a little bit of a cooler, because we're on the cooler side of it now. Alright, so where am I now? Just give myself a wee moment here and having a wee stand back. And I think I am done. I think I might be done. Just a few more highlights, just along here, give the impression that the sun is shining in this direction. Oh, just the odd one or two. Okay. All right. I'll tell you what. I'm going to make a decision, and I think I'm going to let that one be for now. If I have to say a little, most of it was fine, but I did have a bit of a struggle on this one. And you wouldn't be much of an artist if you didn't struggle on the odd painting, and sometimes more than the odd painting. But I'm going to take a walk back before I stop the record button here just to see. And I'll still have to take the tape off, the big reveal, as it were. But yeah, I'm happy with that now. Right, okay, here comes the big reveal now. Let me see, little bits at a time. Okay. Right, that's one of them off. Just leave that to the side. That's two of them off. Let me just fix this up a bit. Oops. I did say that I was going to stop doing this, but I have to say I do like the look of it. I do like the idea of pulling it off, and I do like the finished product. So I'm just going to remove the stickiness off the tape, and hopefully it doesn't warp it too much. Anyway, at least for the time being, folks, that will do. All right, I'm going to have a wee look at the camera here, just to see. The camera's too cold. It doesn't quite look like that. Anyway, that's it for now. Okay. Yeah, on here, it's a good bit warmer. Okay. All right, folks. I'll see you all again soon enough. Bye for now.